Just minutes ago, President Obama approved a disaster declaration for West Virginia. 9 counties are dealing with a chemical spill. It contaminated the water supply. Up to 300,000 people are being told not to touch the tap water.
Can you understand some of the confusion and some of the outrage that people are feeling?
We share the outrage, we share the stress that is going on in the community. We're trying to do the best with what we have, not what we wish we had.
But in West Virginia, for the 7th night in a row, more than 100,000 people still can't drink their tap water.
Bad news this morning for hundreds of thousands of people in West Virginia whose drinking water was contaminated by a chemical spill. We're now learning that the spill was worse than initially believed. So how long until people can actually drink the water coming out of their own taps?
When the governor, for instance, says that this is not a coal issue, that's not true. This is very much related to the ongoing pollution of the coal industry in southern West Virginia counties.
It's extremely out of the ordinary. A lot of people describe it as licorice, but it's this sweet type of smell.
How long residents will have to steer clear of the water.
You can't wash the dishes, you can't take a shower, so that's more frustrating than it is nervous or upset.
It's been a real eye-opener, but it also really points the way to the power of some of these emerging technologies.
And certainly some of its most remarkable places are its rivers. When we think about places like the New River or the Gauley River. What the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it. If you go out west, they have droughts on a regular enough basis that they understand the value of their water. It was pointed out to me by a visiting scientist, and he has spent a lot of time out west and here back east. And he's like, the one thing that you notice when you go out west is that every hotel, every place you go to has fountains, has water fountains. And when you come east, nobody does. Yeah, so I think one of the difficult things when you try to compare any natural resource like water to another natural resource like coal or any mineral that maybe gets mined is that the value, the economic value of water spread across so many different facets of life that it almost gets, pardon the pun, but it gets diluted. Its real value gets diluted because you've got a tourism sector, you've got a quality of life sector. People's willingness to pay for clean water is huge. You've got a recreational sector, you've got the power industry sector.
PA and local governments can't monitor every stretch of every body of water the whole time, right? But a whole bunch of citizens with pretty cheap sensors and Gatorade bottles could, right? At this point, it's really just about detecting, is something different? Is something weird? Is the water unusually warm? Is it unusually conductive?
When we were doing Streamlab and looking at the sensors and sort of educating ourselves within the class, our original impetus for that was the chemical spill in Charleston, but it was like opening up a Pandora's box of issues about water, not just in our state, but nationwide. And realizing the sort of precariousness of water quality. Censor journalism is absolutely here to stay, and the reason that is because it's actually part of this other ecosystem, which is called the Internet of Things, and some people call it the Internet of Everything. But what that basically means is we have all of these sensing technologies coming into play that extract data from everything. That includes smart objects, but it also includes our environment. Where it gives rise to things like Arab Spring or Black Lives Matter. That's the power of technology and citizen journalism. I think we're going to see the same power of that technology in citizen science and with censor journalism.
This whole project, what's going on here, was all because water is so important to this community.
And the project through the College of Media is, while the science is not necessarily innovative, what's innovative is that as media experts begin to do science, begin to understand the science, and their ability to communicate that science increases, regardless of the value of the science.